Hi, Tracy here with BibleJournalingMinistries.com, and I just got a package from Crossway, and I think it's a Bible for review. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, sometimes publishers just send me books and Bibles and things like that, which I love. They oftentimes don't ask me to review them, they just send them. So a lot of times I'll just open them and do the review anyways. This one is one that they sent me and didn't really require me to do a review. So let's go ahead and see what's inside. And, ooh. Oh, wow. Okay, this is really cool. So this is an Archaeology Study Bible in the English Standard Version. So this Bible I thought would be amazing for, I'm such a person that loves to see land, see nature. I really have to see pictures to truly understand. And so I believe this Bible has a lot of archaeological pictures in it and a lot of extra information about history and things like that, about certain places and things in the Bible. So I'm just flipping through real quickly so you can start to see some of the pictures that are included in here. There should be a lot of pictures of buildings and land and things like that. So this is fantastic. I'm so excited to see this. So this is an English Standard Version Study Bible. So this is not a journaling Bible. You can journal in it. You can do, journal on the sides, do some little micro Bible journaling in the middle. But really this is the study Bible. And I always recommend that you have a study Bible, at least one, in your stash of Bibles. I have over 60 Bibles, maybe, boy, I've lost count, but I have plenty of Bibles to choose from, and I do like to have my study Bibles, and I love to get new study Bibles that are different, themed, and also different translations, so that I can really see things from a different perspective and maybe connect dots where maybe I hadn't connect them before in other translations. So I'm just flipping this so that you can just see as I different pictures as I'm talking to you. So this is an English Standard Version of a Bible. And so for those of you who are new to Bibles, Bibles are translated from the original Greek and Hebrew. And the way they're translated are either word for word, or maybe a paraphrase or thought for thought, or somewhere in that spectrum. So where you would have your scrolls, right? Those are on this far end, right? Your scrolls, if you're reading in Greek and Hebrew, that's what you would read. And then as they translate these, the text into different languages, and in our case, English, they'll translate it different ways. They'll translate it word for word, which is also called formal equivalence, or they'll translate it into something like thought for thought, which is also called dynamic equivalence. They try to get in the middle. In the middle, they call it optimal equivalence. Or even way, way far on the right, paraphrased, which is like a story or something like that. So that's how they try to translate them. With the English Standard Version, is translated into word for word or formal equivalence. If you think about it on the spectrum of Bibles, it's really, as close as you can get really to word for word. Versus, let's say, a CSB version, which is kind of in the middle, and then all the way to a paraphrase version, which is the Message Bible, which is a story based. So if you're looking for Bibles that are more word for word, you want to stick with your King James Version, your ESV. If you're looking for things that are more thought for thought or kind of in the middle, CSB translation, NIV translation, etc. Paraphrase would be the Message if you were looking at different Bibles like that. But I always recommend that you get multiple translations of the Bible if you can afford it. And also you can get many free apps on your phone, on your computer. If you're watching this video, you likely have access to the internet. There's plenty of free Bibles on the internet. So you can go to something like BibleGateway.com and you can look up verses in many different translations, or something like the U Bible app. allows you to look up things in different translations. I always encourage you to look at things in different translations to see if maybe you see something different than you had seen before. So again, I'm just flipping through this so that you can just see the different pictures and things before I do more of an in-depth review and look up some of the information for you that you might be interested in, like cost and weight and things like that. Oh, there's some maps in here as well. So this is going to be really fun for me to read, and that's why I recommend like your study Bibles, because you know, sometimes, you know, reading the Bible, I read the Bible completely every other year, and then on the alternate year I'll read the New Testament only. That gives me extra time to do things like studies and devotions and things like that, which I love to do, and it just kind of keeps things lively and fresh. And I always like to read the Bible in a different translation every year I go through it. So it's fun. It does take me a whole year to read the Bible. I usually spend about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15, maybe even 20 if I'm really getting into it, in the morning, right as I wake up in the morning. I don't do anything. That's the first thing I do, is open up the Word and start reading it. You know, obviously I pray first and just spend that time with the Lord. So it's something that I'm in a habit of doing. I love doing it. If you haven't read the Bible all the way through, that's okay. You're not alone. Many Christians have not read, I would probably even guess the majority have not read it completely, unfortunately, but that's okay. Like, that is, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And I would just encourage you to spend, you know, a little bit of time, just a little bit of time in the Bible. And maybe going through the Bible takes you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long it takes. Just slowly do it. And, you know, with a little bit of practice, a little bit of maybe putting it into your routine, that might really help you. And then I think you'll be really, really satisfied with the result. I was so excited the first time I read the Bible all the way through. I just love it. So now when I read the Bible through, I try a different translation. It's easier to, like, for me, it was easy to start with the Paraphrase Bible, then move to a Thought for Thought Bible, and now I read Word for Word Bibles. So yeah, I use all different translations. It really does help me, and I just encourage you to get into the Word as much as you can. So you can see that this Bible has just a ton of pictures and some maps and things like that. And let's go ahead and see what the cost is on this and anything else that they want to share with us. Okay, so the cost of this Bible is retailing for $49.99. So if I find discounts, I always post them on our channels in our community tabs. So make sure that you're following us on here at Bible Journaling Ministries, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Those are the places that I primarily will post our discounts or any discounts that I see. In our Facebook community, it's the Bible Journaling for Beginners Facebook community. And even the admins also post deals for you as well. So it comes with a little slipcover. It comes exactly like this. This is a brown Bible. On the side here, it's got the word Archaeology Study Bible on it. It's got a symbol here and some design work, some nice gold embossing here. And then on the back, it's just a plain brown. As you open up to it, it is like a cream color kind of first page. However, the rest of the pages are white, and I know that some of you are really sensitive to cream or sensitive to white, so I want to make sure I'm telling you this is a very, very bright white. So you can see you have some blank pages. These are perfect for your dedication. It's perfect for extra note taking or anything that you want to add. It's got the Smithsonian binding in there, which is a very library quality binding, which is what you want as much as possible. Here is your dedication. So I guess you just put your notes here, you put your dedication here. You can do all kinds of journaling here if you want to, but again, I leave my study Bibles for studying, but if you want to journal in here, you know, whatever makes you happy, whatever brings you closer to the Lord is what I love. So here is where you can write down who you're dedicating it to, by and on. Wouldn't this be a great college gift? I just think it'd be awesome. Then you have your pages and you have your table of contents. It looks like it's copyrighted 2017, so it hasn't been out very long. Then you have an introduction to the ESV Archaeology Study Bible. Then you have your biographical sketches here. which is really, I think, the contributors. Yeah, I think it's the contributors of this work. At least sketches of them. Yeah. So, and then you also have some contributors here, I think. I might be wrong. Let's see. David Allen. So, study note contributors. Oh, yeah. I'm just doing a quick check here. So just contributors and little information about them. Then you have a preface. A preface talks a little bit about the translation. The ESV Standard Translation talks about the philosophy. And he talks about the publishing team. I love this. It says to honor God, to God's honor and praise. And they actually, I mean, they come right out and say, like, we know that no Bible translation is perfect, but we also know that God uses imperfect and inadequate things to his honor and praise. And it says, so to our triune God and to his people, we offer what we've done with our prayers, that it may prove useful, with gratitude for much help given, with ongoing wonder that our God should ever have entrusted to us so momentous a task. I love that, because it's not easy to take the Bible and, do things like it. Even, of course, a translation of the Bible, but things like Bible journaling kits, devotions, even talking about your viewpoints or your thoughts on it. It's not an easy thing to do. And so, there are many different translations. I appreciate that they acknowledge that. And I always say, do whatever works for you. So if you're looking for a translation, or you're looking for some, a specific, something that you're looking for, maybe an archaeological Bible would be something that would really interest you and get you studying more, then do what works for you. This here is the next section that says, what is archaeology? Talks a little bit about that, and then it goes background into the Old Testament. This is going to be so fun to read. I'm so excited. It gives you a reference to the text. It gives you a daily life in Old Testament times. This is amazing. Gives you the economy of ancient Palestine, ancient Near East. Oh, it's so important. We get the Hebrew calendar compared to the modern calendar. I love it. And then we have the Old Testament timeline, and then right into the Old Testament. As you go into the Old Testament, you do have the introduction. It tells you a little bit about that, contributions from archaeology. And then it gives you go right into Genesis. And then here at the bottom, which is very consistent with different study guides, is you have more information. So you have your Bible, and then you have more information. So you have your Bible, your study notes, more information. I think this is fantastic. So that's kind of how it's laid out. And then obviously it goes all the way through. And this is a pretty big Bible. Let's see how many pages are included in this Bible. A lot of maps in the back. Love maps. Maps are so helpful. I was actually looking at a map yesterday of the world on the internet yesterday. Geography is so important, so I just really do like to look at maps and see where things are. Looks like there are 1,936 pages here. So that would be the total number of pages. I just want to go look at Revelation right now. So then we have Revelation. Oh, and there are even some pictures and things like that in Revelation as well, which is awesome. I love it. A lot of different pictures. This is fantastic. Okay. I cannot wait to read this. Okay, so then we have articles and resources. So these are additional things that you can learn about. So doing archaeology tells you a little bit about doing it as an academic discipline, how they probably do dating of things, how they date things, how they tell things are old or not. Little article on biblical geography. So there's just a lot of different history type articles, history of archaeology, and then we go into our bibliography. Wow. It's a pretty big bibliography. Then you have your index of sidebars. So sidebar is something that's on the side of, you know, any of this stuff that's on the side, so that's going to tell you, like, this is a sidebar as well right here. So this would be considered more of like a graphic or an illustration, but this would be like a sidebar. So for example, if we want to look at Paul's identity, I can go to 1765. So let me go to 1765, see what they got here. 1765. 1765, 1766, here we go. Okay, so 1765, this is a sidebar here where they talk about Paul's identity. So here is your index of sidebars. And then you have your concordance, which is great. Concordance are great for if you want to look up different verses around a topic that you want to study. So if you want to study abundance, you can just look up the word abundance, and then you can go to Deuteronomy, Psalm, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and learn more about that, read more about that in the Bible. So I love your concordance. I actually have a Strong's concordance, so it's a book in itself, and I recommend that as a tool as well. But definitely recommend a study Bible first before you get something like a standalone concordance. All right, then we have weights and measures. We have kings of Israel and Judah. Oh, that's good. This is nice. It just kind of gives you a timeline, which is fantastic. It gives you a timeline of biblical history, which is so important. Love it, love it, love it. I wonder how far does it go? How far does it go? So we have the timeline here, the dates. So clearly I need to read more. Here we go. This is all before BC here, and then we go to AD here. So 2020 AD. Fascinating. Fascinating. This is so exciting. Then you have your editorial team and the publishing team, and then you have your map. So map 1, Middle East today, the world of the patriarchs, the Exodus from Egypt, a lot of different maps. These are really awesome. Okay, so you can look at the maps as you study as well. And then you have just like an extra page here that you can take additional notes as well. And then that is your Bible. In terms of the font size, okay, so your font size here, this is a 9-point type. Your study notes are an 8-point type. It has a double column format, which means there's 2 columns on here. There are cross references and footnotes. It is black letter text. I know you guys are often looking for red letter text, but this is black letter text. So there's no red letter in there. For those of you who are new, red letter would be anything that like Jesus would have said. But that's not included in this. You just have to read it to know. But sometimes people like to skip through or have things called out that Jesus said, and that would be like in a red letter, usually. Different Bibles do different things. So sometimes they're highlighted, but most of the time they're in red. All right, so what else does it have for you? It has more than 2,000 study notes. It's got 700 full color maps and photos, 200 plus sidebars that we talked about, these things here. It's got the ancient text charts. It's got 4 timelines, 15 articles, and book introductions. So that's awesome. If you were going to carry this around with you, it looks like its size is about 6 3/4 inches wide, or looks like 10, 17 and a half centimeters. And in terms of how tall it is, it's about 9.5 inches tall, and it looks like 24 centimeters. And in terms of your depth here, you're looking at about 2 inches in depth, or about almost about 5 centimeters in depth. You can see that really high quality Smithsonian binding here as well. In terms of how much does it weigh, because a lot of times you might be carrying it with you to your study groups and such. This Bible weighs 3 pounds, 9.55 ounces. I think this is going to be a really fun Bible, and I may read this Bible for my 1-year plan next year. I think it's definitely in the running for a Bible to read completely through the year, because I actually think that this would take me longer than a year to read because of all the study notes. So it's in the running, but I haven't committed yet. So if you think I should commit to it, you let me know. But if you have a favorite 1-year Bible, let me know. And I would love to know, do you have this Bible? Are you considering getting this Bible? What are the things you like or dislike about it? I would love to know in the comments below, because we're a community, and just because I love a Bible doesn't mean you love it. Although I think this one's really great. I'm so excited about it. But I would love to know your comments, because I think we're a community, and when you share your comments, other people learn as well. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.